Mike Owens here, joined today by Cody Durden, who returns to action next Saturday night, facing Gustavo da Silva, excuse me. Cody, great to sit down and chat. How are things with you today?
Good, man. Thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm excited. Bruno Bulldog Silva next weekend. 7 days till weigh in. Weight's good. And I've had a hell of a training camp. I'm ready to go, man.
Has this training camp been solely focused at ATT? Because I do know that you do a little bit of cross training. I know you spend time in Vegas, but has this one solely been down in Florida?
Yeah, so American Top Team Coconut Creek's my main training facility. I spent 7 weeks down there in the dorm rooms, just training like twice a day. No injuries. I'm healthy. And I felt like I grew a lot this camp. I know I grew a lot this camp. Just straight focused. I spent 4 weeks in March in Coconut Creek. And then I thought I was going to fight in April, May. And then I got booked for June 29th. And that fight fell through. And so the last 4 months have been nothing but just training. So I'm excited. I'm healthy. I'm ready to go.
So how much do you feel like your skill has developed from the last time we saw you in December to now, given you've had a couple of camps, a couple of ideas of opponents, but obviously not getting that fight actually in the diary until next Saturday?
Yeah. So when I fought Tagir, he's stylistically a way different opponent than Bruno Silva.
Mm,
Tagir's really, really long and big for the weight class. That's why he couldn't make weight the last fight.
mm,
And he's just a different opponent. He's got that wrestling background from Dagestan, and
mm,
he's been training with Khabib since 2006 in Islam.
mm.
So I feel like Bruno Silva is a step back in competition as far as skill level. He's not as skilled, but I not only have grown mentally since that fight, I've been putting in the work, and I've grown physically as well. So it's going to be a good fight. Stylistically, on paper, this is a good fight for me.
We'll get back to the video in just a second, but I got to tell you about the Open Championship coming up and how we've partnered up with DraftKings to bring you guys an incredible offer. I know what you guys are thinking. What does fighting and golf have to do with each other? A lot. Golf is not a team sport, neither is fighting. It's every man for himself, last man left standing, and normally the guy who takes the least amount of damage is the one who wins. So right now, new DraftKings customers who go download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, bet $5 on the Open Championship, get $150 in bonus bets instantly with promo code INSIDEFIGHTING.
When you look at this fight, you look at the styles. Where do you feel his strengths, and where do you look at as the areas that you're looking to exploit?
I feel like he's overall a great fighter. He's, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He's got great striking. He's finished his last 3 opponents. And, I know he's going to be looking to get it to the ground, which is, I've worked a lot on my bottom game and not only getting up without giving my back, but, working on the submission defense. That's what I put a lot of work in the last 6 months. I haven't taken many days off, man. It's like I truly live the anytime, anywhere, any place. I put my name in the hat in April to fight Joshua Van, and then I put my name in the hat to fight Joshua Van on June 1st. And I don't know if he turned it down or the UFC just said no, but the fight didn't come to fruition. I also put my name in the hat to fight Andre Lima on I think it was June 2nd, UFC 302. That fight didn't come to fruition. But Bruno Silva, it's a harder fight. He's finished his last 3 opponents, and he's dangerous. He's dangerous on the ground, and he's dangerous on the feet. So this is a fight where you got to be on your P's and Q's and show up, because if not, he can hurt you. But I'm on a totally different level, man. I'm telling you, I'm going to get in there, and you're going to see straight domination. My cardio is going to take over. I'm too fast. I'm too strong. I'm ready.
It sounds like you're chomping at the bit to get back. I can really feel the anticipation on your side to get back in action. Has it been a frustrating period at all, 2024? And how excited are you to kind of pick up where you left off?
Well, I mean, I'm looking to get this win. That'll be 5 out of the last 6 and propel me towards the top of the division.
Mm.
But yeah, I'm pissed off at that last performance, and I know I'm better than that. I got caught with an overhand right on the chin that got me dropped, and then ended up bleeding. His toes in the cage. He put all 6 toes in the cage. So I was just frustrated at that fight, but I'm ready to get back in there.
I guess past the frustration though, we often hear this phrase. I think it was John Kavanagh who famously said, "You either win or you learn." So if you didn't win the last one, then what were the key things that you learned from that experience?
Man, when you take a loss like that, I feel like life chips away at us all,
Mm.
and some of us choose to be victims, and then some of us choose to be survivors. And then there's guys like me that choose to conquer. So I'm not letting that loss get to me, man. I'm just using it as motivation, and using it as a learning curve to get better.
You said something earlier as well, which was quite interesting about how you're almost fighting down, because I know that you have the number 14 ranking next to your name, and Bruno's obviously unranked at the moment. So past the win and past the paycheck, what do you feel like is the biggest thing to gain over a win over the Silva next Saturday?
Well, Silva's right there with me. He's cracking the top 15 right there with me. And I feel like, with him being on a 3-fight win streak, and he's a legit fighter, he's going to bring
Mm.
it. So it's going to be a hell of a fight. And we get to find out, who, if he's got that dog in him, because everybody knows that, you catch me in an arm bar, I'm not tapping.
Mm.
And everybody knows that I'm going to bring the fight to him, from bell to bell. So a win over him versus a guy like Carlos Hernandez. That Carlos Hernandez fight did nothing for me. I wasn't impressed by his last performance. I don't think he's on the upper echelon of the flyweights,
Mm.
and I think Bruno Silva's right there with me.
Is there a mentality shift when you're fighting down? And what I mean by that is, everybody wants to fight up, right? Everyone wants to start climbing the ladder, but that it doesn't work. Somebody has to fight below them, but you're almost defending your rank and defending, your place in the division. So is there a mentality shift there going into this one?
No, man. It all pays the same.
Mm.
I'm fighting to make money, but I'm 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 okay with fighting, to make money right now, but I'm trying to fight to make a lot of money. I'm trying to fight ahead. I'm trying to put money in the bank and bounce heads off canvases. So uh, Bruno's the perfect opponent for me to show out and show up.
What do you make on the flyweight division at the moment?
It's good, man. It's exciting. At the top of the divisions, you got Manel Cape versus Mokaev. That's a banger. You got Tatsuro Taira fighting, just defeated Alex Perez.
Mm.
He's ranked number 5 now. I feel like Matheus Nicolau is on the downfall. He's been knocked out his last 2 fights,
Mm.
knocked out cold. And then you got guys like Matt Schnell, who's kind of on the decline in his recent performances, his last few performances. You got Tagir, who can't make weight but once a year. And then you got Tim Elliott. He just recently had knee surgery, so he's going to be out for a year probably, if
Mm.
not a little less. But the division's looking good, man. I mean, it's promising. I get this win, and we can crack the top 10 for sure.
Obviously, you're not looking past your next opponent, but a lot of fighters try to plot the next move before the fight in place. Do you have maybe an eye on your next matchup? You mentioned Nicolau there. Is there a particular matchup that you look at next, and that could work for you?
Yeah, I think Matheus Nicolau would be a good fight for me.
Mm.
I think he's a veteran. He's been in the main event. He's fought and won some great fights, and that's a matchup that I wouldn't mind entertaining. Another one would be maybe Tatsuro Taira.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
Who have we got coming in?
Say what up.
What
There
up?
we go. Hi, how are
It's
you?
my son Carson. He's a big soccer fan.
I love it. I love it.
Yep. Thank you, buddy.
You mentioned Mokaev and Kape there. Who's your prediction in that one? That seems to be the next big flyweight fight coming up in the next couple of weeks.
Man, that's a great fight, but I'm about to go with Mokaev, man. He can wrestle. He can wrestle like hell. And I think the wrestling's gonna be a good game plan to beat Manel Kape.
What did you make of the last title fight between Alexandre Pantoja and Steve Erceg? I mean, a little bit of a strange circumstance for the number 9 or number 11 ranked guy to get a title shot, but what did you make of how that fight played out at UFC 301?
Yeah, so Steve Erceg was ranked number 10 at the time. He got the title shot. He was 3-0 in the UFC, and he had a big knockout win over Matt Schnell. But you know, he showed up. He put on a hell of a fight, and he's a gamer. He can fight for sure. You know, he's great in the stand up. He's good at jiu-jitsu. It was definitely surprising to see him stand up to the challenge like that, because honestly, I thought he was going to get finished by submission.
Who do you think should be next for Pantoja? I mean, it does seem pretty wide open now. It feels like there's a couple of fights that could potentially be title eliminators at the moment. We've obviously got Tatsuro Taira, as you mentioned. Who do you think should be next for the world title shot?
I think Taira wouldn't be he'd be a good option. And then you definitely gotta give the winner of Kape versus Mokaev a shot.
100%.
So either one of those two, I believe.
100%. We've obviously just seen an appearance from your son. I believe you're a father of 2 or 3, memory serves.
Two, yeah.
I imagine those two, and obviously your wife are the ultimate motivator as you head into this next fight.
Oh, absolutely. You know, my son, since he was born, he's always motivated me to do better. You know, he really made me think. When he was born, it really made me think about things before I did it instead of just doing it. Because man, I was a troublemaker growing up. You know, I was always getting into trouble. But you know, when you have somebody you have to take care of, you really have to sit back and think about things before you do it, because it's not only going to affect you, it's going to affect your whole family, you know, your wife, your kids. So they're the reason why I do everything, man. They're the reason why I wake up early, and they're the reason why I'm getting home so late. It's because you got to grind sun up to sundown if you want to get shit done, and that's what I do. I get shit done.
What do your 2 kids think about what dad does for a living, punching people in the face for money?
Come here. What do you think about it, Carson? What do you think about me punching people in the face for a living?
I think it's pretty cool. Like,
what do you like about it?
very entertaining, and like how you never know what's gonna happen, you know?
Yeah.
Right answer.
Never know.
Right answer. Well done, Carson. Last question for you, Cody, and thank you so much for your time. You can be as brief or as detailed as you like with this one, but I'd like to know, in a perfect world, how do you see next Saturday playing out? I'd like to know, from when you wake up in the morning to when you go to sleep at night, what happens on the 20th of July.
Man, in a perfect world, I get in there, hit him with some good shit, don't get hit, and leave with a pocket full of money. I think it's going to be a tough fight. I'm going to get in there and impose my will, and by the 2nd and 3rd round, you're going to see me take over if it lasts that long. I'm motivated, and I'm more ready than ever, man. It's going to be a great night.
I love it. Well, Cody, great to sit down and chat today. Really enjoyed catching up with you. Best of luck with the rest of training camp, and best of luck for the fight on Saturday night.
Thank you, man. See you.